Yeah, there we go. All right, I'm recording a session.
Okay.
Make it official.
Now it is.
Yeah,
It's
dude. I mean, this is what we're gonna be doing. So, I mean, I'm super excited.
yeah, I definitely am excited to kind of start putting something together as far as timeline is concerned.
Yeah. So with like one of these platforms that lets you kind of send out your stream into multiple channels. There's like a calendar, so we can send out invites, and we'll be able to play around with who we're doing that week.
Right.
Um, I think right now we gotta hop on the train and get as many people, different conversations, and then later on we can go hunting for the bigger chefs. Uh, I
Yeah.
mean, we got shut down. Well, we got shut down. I haven't worked in 6 months, but I mean, yeah, JB Pritzker announced like no more indoor dining,
Yeah.
which I mean, it doesn't make sense, not at all. I saw a post from Chef Lee Woolen saying, we've been open through this entire pandemic, however you want to say it, but
Yeah.
like it's obviously not spreading in the restaurants. Uh,
Right.
you know,
Right.
we
No, it's
we
from it's from people going out and being silly, this, that, and everything else. But I think the hospitality industry as a whole is like really, really taking it seriously and doing a good job at putting the right procedures in place. Like it's no fun wearing a mask on a hotline, but it's something that we need to do.
exactly, and it's actually not. I mean, you've I haven't had to personally endure that, but you've
Well,
definitely.
let me say, it's not a good time. It's not a good time at all.
Yeah, I mean, but it's doable, right?
Right. And that's the point is like we are people who are already like ones who deal with sacrifice by being in the hospitality industry and like serving others. And now we're going above and beyond that to like put masks on, make sure we're wearing gloves, extra cautious. There's a lot of restaurants in Florida here that are like every time you go in, you have to get your temperature taken as an employee, and that's something that's never been done before. So I think it's going to be pretty big at the end of it all.
Well, and that's the thing with that. Like, we're taking all these precautions and we're getting nothing in return for it. So, like, insurance isn't covering us, right? Uh,
Yeah,
we're not getting subsidized by any means. They're not passing any stimulus on any of these restaurants. I mean, you work at a boutique hotel, so I
right.
mean that's like private funded, right? They're not anything crazy big. Like, what was that restaurant group? Danny Meyer's restaurant group. What's those burgers? I forgot the name.
The
Shake
you're talking
Shack.
about, oh yeah, Shake Shack.
Yeah, like Shake Shack got $10 million in like PPP, and then they got backlash because it's like, well, you're not a small restaurant. Don't be taking it from small
Right,
actual people that are in trouble and stuff like
right.
that.
No, and when I got furloughed from Disney and I actually was, what's the next step? What am I going to do? One of the things that was my saving grace is I found this operator who needed, someone to come in with this chef mentality, this chef idea of like, how do we run these restaurants better? And the thing that a lot of people don't know is franchise owners have a lot of control as far as their operations. And for McDonald's, for instance, the McDonald's Corporation comes by twice a year. That's it, to make sure that everything is running by standard, unless there's complaints and stuff like that. But it was really grateful that he was able to get some PPE money because without that, I probably wouldn't have been able to find a job for longer than the 3 weeks I was already out of work. So even something as big as that, he was still worried like, okay, am I too big to be taking, PPE money? I have 9 stores. What about the people who only have, one restaurant, two restaurants? It was definitely some scary times for a lot of the industry.
No, and I feel that, but then again, I mean, it's also on the restaurants, right, to have that 6 months cash available, but we're past that already, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it definitely helped. I mean, my parents took out a loan, but um, you know, their thing is their thing. I can't
Oh
really
yeah, and it's
decide
just
for
that
them,
it's a
but
loan. It's a loan. So, you take that money out and it helps for a little bit, but it's all got to get paid back. There's no such thing as free money, especially not when
exactly.
we're talking with the government. So,
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like, well, okay, so let's kind of restart this entire thing and just reintroduce ourselves.
yeah,
So I'm Vlad Breinstead, but I go by Truffle Boy. And then our
I'm Doug,
co-host,
a host, Doug. I work in Florida. Vlad's in my hometown. One day soon to be back. Maybe. We'll see.
yeah, I don't know if you want to be back. It's snowing right now, so.
I know my parents sent me a picture of snow on their truck, and I was like, "It's October. Come
And,
on."
and you were just here what 3 weeks ago,
Yeah, yeah. It
and we
doesn't
were
even seem like it was that long ago, but yeah,
right, and we
three
were
weeks.
outside. It was nice, decent weather. I mean, next week
Yeah.
they're showing that it's going to be better. I mean, that's Chicago, right? We already know.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, the Midwest. You'll get all four seasons in one day.
and
That
then
I
you
don't miss.
you get to enjoy summer all
Yeah,
year long. So
yeah, exactly. No, if it gets below like 60 over here, it's bad news. Bad news.
no, it's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I got to chill out on that side of Florida, which you guys refer to as what, East West Coast?
West Coast, yep. I mean, it's still East Coast because it's Florida, but yeah, it's the West Coast of Florida. So we were on the East Coast for about 4 years, and the vibe over there is real different. So finally, we made the big jump to come over here on the West Coast, and haven't regretted it since. It's been almost 6 months now that we moved over here. So Tampa area, definitely enjoying it. Food scene's a lot better, a lot more competition, which is healthy for anybody. You don't want to be, a big fish in a small pond.
Exactly. Well, and I think everything's kind of, there's a lot of money invested right now on
Yeah.
that side.
Oh yeah, tons. I mean, the city of St. Pete, they just spent 91 million to redo a pier that's strictly dedicated to, you know, our industry, the entertainment industry, bringing people to the city, to eat and drink and everything else the city has to offer. There's a huge art scene, and so this city is definitely on the up and coming. It's nice to be a part of something like that, where you feel like, okay, like something is growing here, and there's still a lot of opportunity as far as the food scene's considered in Tampa. There's a lot of nice places, but there's no Michelin recognition. Um, James Beard is kind of scarce, so all those things we start to see come into play. I'm excited to see where Tampa goes. I think it will be. I don't know if it'll ever be, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, but I think it's going to go somewhere for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, Michelin's never really been there, so, but
No,
which is weird, and they're weird, and I don't really like them right now. So
I don't think people have a lot of love for them right now at all. I was actually just talking about that. That I think I think James Beard is slowly going to start sort of taking over. I don't think people pay attention to the stars as much as they used to, which is kind of sad, but I guess it's a showing of the time as well.
well, I just think a lot of these chefs are giving up so much to fit the criterias of a Michelin restaurant.
Right.
And
Sacrifice. Yeah.
what are they getting in return? A plate, a plaque, a plate, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, you're gonna get some of those super fine dining people that are gonna come in and order like a $10,000 bottle of wine, and
Right.
that's amazing. But you know, you're gonna you're limiting how many people you're gonna be taking, right? You're limiting what type of service you're running.
Yeah.
And then just for somebody to come and judge your food. And then, I was working at Royster when we lost our Michelin star. That wasn't,
Yeah.
that wasn't a good vibe. And then, like, the reason they lost it is because, or the reason we lost it during that time was because we changed executive chefs, right?
Right.
So they're going to ding you a Michelin star, and then they're going to
Simply
let,
because. Right.
yeah, simply because you're changing your executive chef.
Right.
But then it's like, well, what about all those people that came in and sacrificed their time waking up at 3 in the morning to be at work at 4 in the morning to fucking prep chickens and do all this shit and cut your stickers fucking straight and
Yeah.
label everything? I
Yeah.
mean, it's not a fair assessment, right?
Right. Right. No, it's a huge bias. And I mean, when I was in the city, I was working for a couple of people that, had worked for the Alinea Group for a while. And they were, I was part of the opening team there. And within 8 months, we were about to close down. And so a huge saving grace of that was the fact that we got our Michelin star, the fact we got a star. And I remember from having no star to when they had gotten the star, the business was just skyrocketed. And, it was busy every night. And, you know, it's insane the amount of effect that judgment call that seems kind of shady at times can affect a business so heavily.
100%. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? So you do want to hold yourself to the highest standards, but then,
Right.
and I think James Beard does a better at that. And I think where James Beard originated and their whole story is
But
much
yeah, I think it's
much
the origin. I agree. I think the origin of James Beard has kind of resonated a little bit more with people who are truly in the industry.
and then him himself, it's like a Paul Bocuse. It's like Bocuse d'Or, right?
Right.
You can't hate on that because it's one guy spent his entire life perfecting just like
Yeah.
the most tedious
Simplest, perfect.
techniques.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And exactly, it's like, do you look at him wrongly because he never, took himself to that sort of like fusion, gastronomy sort of level, or do you respect him because he perfected what he knew he was the best at?
Right. Yeah. And then his restaurant. I mean, I don't know if you. I know you're not on Instagram any longer, uh,
Right.
but I bet you've seen the pictures of the Paul Bocuse house where it's like it looks like it's from 1900s. Nothing's
Right.
changed. The
Right.
roosters, the copper. I mean, it's beautiful, right? It's
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's one of those things that you find nostalgic. It's hard to find people who are so committed to their craft and the unwillingness to change. And it reminds me of Evan Funke out of LA. He's the chef of Felix, but he's so dedicated to his pasta game, and that's what he has passion for. That's what he wants to do. And so when you see those people who just they know where they want to take their culinary experience, and they know exactly what they are the best at, and they own that, and they work through that. I think there's something really special to be said there.
100%. I agree. And he's not right. He's doing whatever. Excuse me. He's doing whatever he wants, right?
Right.
And he's staying true to himself, and he built the brand around him,
Right.
which, I mean, big props to him. And all his food looks amazing, simple but amazing.
Yeah.
And then those sometimes are the harder dishes to put out than.
Oh yeah, there's nothing to hide behind. There's
Yeah.
not anything to hide behind. And so I think I agree. It's definitely you have to have a higher level of execution, higher level of perfection.
Consistency, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'll never forget someone told me there's no quality without consistency. So, you know, I try to teach my cooks that a lot because, that saying sticks with me. That and you're only as great as your last plate up. Both things my first mentor taught me, but both of those kind of remind you that at any point it could all change. If one day you don't decide to put in 110%, then who's to say that people are going to come in tomorrow? There's no guarantee, and I think that's drives a lot of chefs to the level of dedication and perfection and eagerness that they're at. Is like it's all on the line every day, and is I think that's exciting. That's what makes me do it. That's why I get up in the morning and spend the 12, 13, 14 hours every single day and kind of just grind it out for exactly that.
I agree 100% with that. And just to add to that, I mean, from my perspective, right? I wasn't, and I'm not going to say I'm the best now, but
Yeah,
those days where you come into work and you give it 70% and you get shit on by your
right.
chefs and your teammates and your line, whatever it is,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
you have the next day to come in and bring that 110% and have a great service.
right. Right, exactly, exactly. No, I mean, I know when I first started my culinary career, I was probably the worst line cook out there. I would never show up on time. I was the slowest one to get my prep done. I remember like working Garmo station and taking like 5 hours to do citrus supremes, and I look back now and I'm like damn, like how did I move that slow? Like I don't even understand what I was doing in 5 hours to make citrus supremes. And it's kind of crazy. You see how far you've pushed yourself and how far you've come. And again, I think that just makes you appreciate the journey, all that much more. But no, I was probably one of the worst line cooks out there when I started my career. You know,
I
uh,
wouldn't say that. I mean, we were in the same culinary class, so
yeah,
we had a great
yeah,
teacher.
we did.
Teachers
We did
are,
have some really, really good teachers.
um, which is a shitty topic to get into
Yeah,
about
I was
that.
gonna say, is it too soon?
Um, it's just like I can't even imagine. I mean, I just had such a great time at that culinary school, and just
Yeah,
like you,
yeah,
me, Jerry, JT, Mark.
yeah,
Remember
yeah,
Mark Verhees?
yeah, yeah. I remember Mark, Isaac, Alex. I remember all those people.
So I don't know Isaac or Alex. I don't remember those guys.
No, they're
No.
from. Isaac was in some of the culinary classes, but Alex was in Tech Campus, and then I think he went to CLC like a year after us, or something like that.
There was a couple other ones. I mean, you didn't stick around for the full thing, did you?
No, I didn't graduate my degree, but I think. Oh, look, Alex is on here now. Um, Yeah, Alex went to the CIA after tech. That's right, in Hyde Park. No, finished my degree, but I think because I did tech campus beforehand, that's why I finished like half a year earlier or something like that. I don't know, it feels like forever ago now, 2016.
I still have one. I have a PE class that I was like, I'm not gonna take it. And then I
Vlad, go
mean,
do your PE. What the hell? Go take
well,
PE,
it
Vlad.
was like I finished everything right, and then I
Yeah,
had another semester just to take a PE class, and
yeah.
there were morning classes, and then I don't need me to tell you, but I was always late, so
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. You and your time. I remember Chef Will would like every day, every day.
shout out
Uh,
to Alex,
yeah,
Miss
yeah, that's
Miss and
what I
Doug.
thought. I remember that's what I thought that we were like one grade above you one year. But yeah. Yeah, I remember me, Alex, and Isaac, we all did a cooking competition in downtown at Kendall College, which was like sort of the rival of CLC, I guess, in some sort of weird facet. But during the cooking competition, I remember Isaac like chopped off half his thumb, and like me and Alex had to finish the whole competition, and Isaac was like all bandaged up and everything. It's pretty funny. I think we made like eggs Benedict with like a salad. That was like the first cooking competition I'd ever did, and I remember being pretty nervous about it. We were gonna do like eggs Benedict and home fries or something like that, but then the student whatever she changed our mind, so we did a eggs Benedict with like a salad. But yeah, that was a pretty fun night. Pretty memorable. It was really
How old
stormy.
were you?
How old were we? We were probably, I think we were juniors or seniors in high school. So I think me and Isaac were seniors and Alex was a junior. But that must have been in 2014, 2014 or 2013. That's crazy to think about it now.
It is. It is. No, I mean,
Yeah.
what would be the best words of advice that you would give yourself back then?
Move faster. Definitely move faster.
But
Um,
like, what's moving faster, right? Because if you're not
no,
confident,
yeah,
there's only so fast you could move.
yeah. I think honestly, it probably move faster in the sense of like it took me a while to actually come to the realization that like I can do this. I always like was the cook who was like, what am I gonna get fired for today? What am I gonna mess up today? And once you get over that and you realize that you're cooking for the guests and you're not cooking for a chef, and you realize that you're able to like actually pull something out of yourself that you didn't know necessarily was there, and you realize that that's why the chef is the way they are. They call it making a profound impact. So something that's a radical truth, something that's within yourself that you're being shown, and moving faster and realizing what your potential is. That probably would have been the piece of advice. That and write more things down. There's a lot of recipes and everything you kind of just scribble in a hurry, and all those notebooks and notebooks you have over the years, they get harder to decipher as you forget the chicken scratch. Oh, are we gonna see another Sharpie double page?
You're talking about these?
Exactly, those notebooks. Exactly.
Let me show you the difference.
But no, it's really that. Once you get that idea of, I'm able to do this, I can do this, let me prove myself to that. Um, you're a much different cook, a much different chef at that point.
Honestly, most of my stuff that's filled in my notebook is just like prep lists.
Yeah, good old prep lists.
Prep lists and end of night counts.
Uh, we have clipboards for all that stuff, my good sir.
So this was from when I did my stage at Alinea, and then at
Yeah.
the end of the night, the chef goes, one no anise, one no pork, one no shellfish, one no raw, one no offal, one no seafood, one no organ, one no cilantro, one no almonds, one prego, one no meat, one no meat. And then you have to figure that shit out for the next day. That's on you. And they say it so fast too. It's like, hold on, let me. What was that? Yeah, it was pretty intense. But I was definitely too much in my head. How you doing, Uphorik Amar? I hope I pronounced that right.
I hope so too.
I hope so too.
Guy.
But yeah, I want to share.
He's got a giant fish. That looks pretty cool. Is that a barrelfish? I don't know. You can't make it bigger.
But like, I started writing it much neater and much more legible. Recipe. Yeah, hell yeah, risotto.
Did so what did all that mean? What's one no prego?
So like the entire whatever she's getting that she's pregnant. So
Right, right.
like no shellfish, maybe shellfish, no raw stuff. Um, yeah, pretty much no raw stuff. I mean, whatever pregnant women can't have, and
Yeah, yeah.
you're gonna have to modify whatever your station is doing that night or the next night. You're gonna have to have some things ready for
Huh.
them in specific. So, like, let's say if you can't do cilantro and you're doing a steak taco with cilantro, you're gonna
Right.
switch that cilantro to, let's say, parsley or some other micro herb. Which, I mean, it was insane. Their micro
So
herb
you
collection
were
was,
prepping the special diets for the next day.
so you know who. Yeah, exactly.
Right,
Because you write the prep list for the commis, then the
right.
commis come in at 4 in the morning and they prep all your shit, and
Wow.
they have to start thinking about it too, because they have to make some modifications and stuff. uh,
Right.
and then when you come in, you pretty much set, like what seating they're going to be seated at. I mean, it at that point it's so easy but yet so complicated.
Right,
It's
right.
um, but yeah, that
Huh.
was fun. Definitely missed 1,000 recipes that I would have loved to like recreate,
Yeah,
just for even
yeah.
myself, not for cooking, making money.
No, and that's kind of what I realized. Like, one of my first mentors, Matt Dubois, who was the two-star chef at El Ideas, and then he kind of we met each other in Ovasi. He hired me as line cook, and then we came down, and he took me on at Band Bohemia when he took the executive chef job. He wanted me to come down with him, and so I did. But you know unfortunately, sometime last year, he took his own life, and so these people that are so, you know, father figure esque in your life, and they give you all this information, and you realize that, you know, I've probably only written down 20% of everything that I could have had from this person, and now there's not like there's going to be another chance, and so when you start to realize like I guess just how lucky some of us are to be so important in other people's lives. I mean, it takes a lot of energy to share, a recipe and a cooking technique and, a style of doing this and doing that. I don't think as young line cooks, we really take full understanding of how much someone's pouring into us. We kind of just, like, all right, yeah, you're really annoying me right now. But yes, chef, got it. Uh-huh. I can't wait to get shit faced later and not think about you. But the chef is there literally, heart and soul. This is my life's work for 20 years. And a lot of young line cooks are just kind of like, you know, flipping him the bird. So I think it's important to really understand how lucky some of us are with some of the mentors and chefs that we are, take for granted possibly.
No, 100%. And I mean, yeah, when you're in the moment and your chef's fucking ripping you a new asshole, the only thing you think
Yeah,
about inside is like, I'm about to walk out. Like this, I'm
yeah, yeah. No, you don't think like, oh, this is helping me. This is for my betterment.
exactly.
Yeah, I think that realization that takes some time. That's not an easy. You can tell someone that 100 times, but you kind of have to figure that off in your own head.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's crazy, the amount of things that we miss as a young cook,
Yeah.
even in culinary school, right? Like, I mean, I kept them. I don't know about you, but remember all those recipes that Chef Rob and Chef Will gave us?
Oh no, yeah, I have a huge binder. They're labeled out by sauce, protein. Yeah. I look at that stuff all the time, especially some of those cheat sheets about like, what vegetables and fruits are, in season here and there, or countries, if I want to make an Egyptian dish, what sort of spices should I look for? All those little tools, I don't think I was talking to one of my line cooks about this earlier last week, but as soon as a chef as you think you have all the answers and you don't need to reach out for help, and you're in your own head so much that you don't start looking at what other people are doing, I think that's when you start to fail 100%.
So
Um,
Doug, we have a special visitor, Line Cook 83. This guy ripped my asshole every single day, bro.
every day.
Every day, bro. Let's see what, and we got young Roland. I don't know how to pronounce that. Can you Doug? Can you do the and Chef Malcolm? Oh, all my culinary peeps.
Here they are.
Here they are. Yeah, but Line Cook 83, man. So this guy, craziest story, fucking wicked chef, cooks like the best Asian grandma. I mean, fish sauce and everything. His thing.
From scratch?
I mean, no, not. I mean, he could probably do it from scratch.
Yeah.
He's the guy that showed me Alinea recipes, and I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna do it. And he's like, yeah, I did. I dabbled. It's easy. It's not. Nah.
Yeah.
Just
I
does.
dabble.
Just does a little like this, you know. And when I have to do like create any recipes for just like all these collabs that I try to do and get myself involved in,
Yeah.
I always hit them up for ideas, and then I tell them at the end like, don't be surprised if you see me ripping you off. Like I'm gonna take your idea, I'm gonna do it. Like I don't care. So far he's been cool with it.
Yeah. I think yeah, exactly. No, I think that's what's awesome about our industry is I mean, I've never done anything else. This is what I've done for the last 9 years, but I think the relationship, and there's always this weird stigma like chefs don't share the recipes, like they're top secret. Like I've always found chefs are very willing to, help here and there, and always, show someone a new technique, this or that. As long as you're going to take the time to listen and actually put forth some effort, um, I haven't found it to be some sort of locked up secret code that, is in a vault somewhere, like a Krabby Patty recipe or something.
Exactly. And even those are being replicated today.
Right, right.
All right, Doug, we have our first 6 official viewers listening in.
6 official.
So we're getting on the way. For everybody joining in, this is going to be a late night podcast with chefs, for
Yes.
chefs, for the people in the industry. Everybody I called out right now, and including Amar, we want to get you on the other side. Me and Doug are going to be co-hosting this podcast. We want to get your opinions. Our industry is, fucking sinking like the Titanic. Depending where you are in the country at the moment.
Yeah,
but
COVID was a giant iceberg.
So, I mean, we got to stick together. We got to do something, and we got to let our voices be heard. And I want to hear everybody's story, everybody's side, everybody's perspective, because it does matter. And they're going to be writing about us, culinary industry, restaurants, like 2020. That shit happened to restaurants, and they're going to be teaching that in culinary school. Like, what did people do, right? And that's the entire mission, right, Doug?
No, exactly. I mean, the whole idea is, this, like Vlad said, this is a place, by industry people for industry people, and we just want to know, like Vlad said, everybody's story. Where are you guys at? Where do you guys see it? I know Florida is different from Illinois. New York's about to go into another lockdown. The governor, DeSantis down here is kind of just letting everybody do whatever they want. COVID cases are starting to climb again, and so it's really so that we can sort of, piece together this puzzle that, is very unfinished right now. The food and beverage industry, affected by COVID is not a closed book by any means. And, just growing from there, getting everybody's perspective. I'm definitely, excited to see where this goes. A lot of energy and a lot of passion behind this topic. And in this industry, there's a lot of energy. So I think it's going to be good.
Exactly. And then me being on the Chicago side, not working for 6 months, being unfurlonged.
Yeah.
Whatever. I was lackadaisical about,
He's like, I've
well,
just been chilling. The couch is
uh,
great.
me and Doug got together. He came out to Chicago a couple weeks ago with this beautiful girl,
Yes, she is.
and then Doug took me to, I don't remember what it's called, but one of
The Green Emerald.
tell us about the Green Emerald.
It's one of the more iconic Chicago bars. Rumor Al Capone used to, you know, dabble in a drink here or there. So I don't know how true that is, but yeah, it was a good little cocktail. Pianist and everything. It was nice.
Hell yeah, dude! And he was like partially blind, right?
No, I think he was fully blind.
Okay, he was
Yeah.
full. I didn't wanna. I didn't wanna, but yeah.
I think he was 100% blind. Yeah.
I think the funniest. Well, one, you got to tell everybody that that drink you tried to order that they didn't have. So I want every
Oh, the
bartender
Bucaray. Yeah.
the
I
Bucaray.
I don't
Bucaray?
know. New Orleans is the origination of the Bucaray, but yeah, I had it down here in the Tampa, St. Pete area at a place called the Copper Shaker, and it was really good. And I've been trying to find other places that do it, but it's Benedictine and whiskey rye, and I think a lot of places don't carry the Benedictine anymore. I'm not a huge FOH guy. Obviously, I've been in the back of house my entire career, but I don't know if it's something that's just too hard to source, or if it's just not popular, or if it's only for that one drink. But Vucare, if you haven't had one and you like rye whiskey, see if your local bar can do it for you because it's quite good.
Right. Well, that might be a little complicated for people in Chicago now, since I don't even know
Yeah.
if there's no indoor dining. Is there indoor barring? Like,
Well, are they still like I know that a lot of places were doing like to go cocktails and that kind of thing. So I don't know if they're still doing that.
yeah, but
I was
do you imagine the green room doing cocktails to go?
yeah, the blind guy serving them.
You know,
No,
it's like they're they're gonna die. Like these iconic
right,
restaurants are
right.
gonna die. I mean,
Yeah,
that bar we were in was it's iconic, and there was like 20 people tops.
right.
And then it was like we were entering like a CIA facility. They took my driver license, my social security, my
Phone number.
address, when we
Yeah.
came in, how many people we came in with, when did we leave, like, and I was like, well, I go into Walmart and there's people breathing on my neck, and what? That Walmart guy sitting outside is just tallying people that come in and come out. So if
Yeah.
I came in with some bullshit, touched a bunch of cereal, touched a bunch of produce, and then
Right.
somebody else came, how are you going to track that? And then these bars are tracking, like, for a bar like that to be that age and to confine to today's regulations,
So much restrictions. Yeah.
I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, I haven't been in a Walmart since COVID, but I'm sure people aren't wearing their masks properly also. Who's upholding that people are wearing their mask? And I think that kind of goes back to like what you said earlier about the service industry is we're we already sacrifice so much just because of what our jobs are, but we're now even putting ourselves in more of a predicament, like wearing masks on a hotline and the servers having to wear masks and gloves and everything else, but we are sacrificing and extending ourselves even more just for the hope that people will feel comfortable enough to come out and come join us. And um it's weird times. It's definitely weird times. And then, you guys, like you said, there's no dining at all. So what do the servers do at that point? It's
And it's snowing outside.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And notoriously, the winters aren't so good because everyone from Chicago is down here in Florida. So,
Your Highness has joined. This is my meals to go guy.
oh,
Fit
there you go.
fit for a king, fit for a queen. By yours truly, your Highness. I need to trademark that before he steals it from me. But yeah, I mean, he was my old sous chef at Royster, and now he's doing meals to go, doing private dinners.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he hit up that lady that I asked him to hit up, but we'll see. Little opportunity there.
Yeah.
Um, Everybody's changing gears and everybody's doing a little bit different. So
Yeah.
let's get back to, you know, where we wanted this conversation to go, since we kind of drifted away. But let's
Yeah. I
talk
think,
about like before March. Like when did you as a chef, or when did your restaurant start getting impacted, right? Because we didn't
yeah.
get we I mean, we got shut down in Chicago March 15th, March 13th, but March 16th nobody was doing I mean, pretty much everybody was like the streets
Right.
were dead. Everybody was scared, right?
Yeah. No, good luck on that line. Keep that mask on.
But
Um,
well, no, he's cooking at home. He doesn't have to wear a mask.
oh,
But
so that's, no, so for us, I would say I was at the hotel at the time, and so in March the occupancy was pretty low. But April 19th was the day we officially, that was it. There was no, you know, the
but
work was
like,
over.
so was news like? Because I mean, I guess in our state it was like, well, one person has fucking COVID. Don't worry about it. Like we're all good. That started happening around like
Well, it was,
February,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and the worry was always because we weren't sure. We were off-site property. We were on the East Coast, 90 miles away from, the mothership of Orlando. So we were always thinking like, all right, well, Orlando might get shut down, but maybe we'll still stay open. Who knows?
Wait, so explain that to me. I
Um,
thought you worked for Disney in Orlando.
no, so I worked on the East Coast, 90 miles, away from Orlando. I worked for their DVC timeshare properties. So all
Got
their,
it.
yeah, so that's their, their timeshare Disney Vacation Club. I was at the hotel out on the East Coast, Vero Beach. And so we always thought, well, maybe, if Orlando gets closed down, maybe we'll still be open. We don't really know how it's going to go. So we're just kind of day by day going. And I think sometime in the first or second week of April, we knew like, hey, it's coming, like April
But
19th. We're
did
all
you see like
furloughed.
reservations start going down, 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 down?
Yeah, our occupancy for those first 2 weeks in April was probably like 20 to 30%, if that. For the last week before we were officially furloughed, um, it was close to like 4%. We had like, it was weird because when we were trying to close down and furlough the hotel, we would have guests who were booked from Europe, and their mobile numbers we can't dial on a normal cell phone. And so we were having issue getting in contact with guests to try and let them know like, hey, we're closing, like you're going to come here and there's not going to be a hotel to check into.
Wow.
And so that was always pretty weird to actually like understand we're closing and there's no guarantee that you're going to have a job to come back to. I mean, the company was bleeding, millions every single week in payroll and, expenses and everything else. And so
But
eventually we had to just furlough and cut it because there was no money. There was nothing.
right, and it's kind of stupid to just waste product to bring it in just to have for if somebody comes in.
Right.
But like in April, you saw. So let's say April 2019 occupancy. I mean, I don't know if you worked there that long, but
Yeah, no, yeah.
what was the occupancy then?
Yeah, I mean, I remember April 2019 was actually one of the first years. I mean, there had been a long degradation at that hotel in the food and beverage industry, and that's one of the reasons um, that they put me in that hotel. But I remember April 2019 was one of the first years we were actually in the green for a month. I think we finally made like 20 or $30,000 that month from being, you know, year every year losing 750,000, 600,000, losing all this money. We finally started to gain some ground, and it was really awesome to be a part of that team. But you realize how much work you've put into the resort and the hotel, and that we're doing this really great work, and people are enjoying it more than ever. And we're finally starting to turn a corner, and then boom, COVID. You know, you can't predict that, and so you start to see all your hard work, all your financial successes just plummet. And that's really difficult to watch too, because that's those 12-hour shifts. That's those shifts where I work saute so I could send a line cook home because I wanted to save 8 hours today, in payroll. um that's when it really starts to hit, like, I don't have any control of what's coming. I have no control, and I can't plan for this. I can't predict how this is going to affect. All I can do is, you know, do what I know what's right, and, do what I know makes the most business sense.
100%. And you were CDC, right, for that resort?
For that resort, I was the sous chef, and then I was acting chef for about 9 months.
So the chef ended up leaving, and then pretty much
Yeah,
till the end of COVID,
exactly.
you
They
were the
call
main.
it the chef had left.
They call it, we'll use you, but we'll pay you less.
Yeah, they call it TA, temporary assignment. But he had left maybe in February of 2019, I want to say. So from February of 2019 all the way up until then, I was running the resort, and then January they had brought in who was going to be running the resort after me. So even to this day, my story kind of ended with Disney. When that furlough happened, I realized, um, I wanted to go to the West Coast. I realized, that I wanted to seek out other opportunities. And so, uh, back to this story of how COVID affected, my food and beverage journey. Um, April 19th, we all get furloughed, and I'm starting to try and figure out what's the next thing, and end up finding a McDonald's owner
Whoa,
operator.
whoa, whoa! There's an interesting story. You can't just jump to conclusion of how. I want to know exact. I want to show the people. I want to show the viewers exactly how the right place at the right time happens. Tell me it, Doug.
Yeah, yeah, no, you're right. That is, you're just talking about your own life, so you think, it's not that interesting. But when you think about it, it's pretty serendipitous. So, um, my beautiful girlfriend, her parents own a brewery on the East Coast, and so
What's the brewery's name?
Paradolia. So
Paradolia.
if you're ever in Sebastian, Florida, Paradolia Brewing, delicious beer.
They don't serve Coronas, so don't worry about that.
No, there's not. There's no Bud Lights there or Coronas. Craft beer only. Only beer that they make. They got about like 12 to 14 on tap. So
Which
her
on
father.
on a completely side note, if I ever get to come there to where you're at, and we get to go to that brewery, I will bring
Oh yeah.
truffles, and we have to make some truffle beer.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
So
I think
we'll talk about that.
he could be all about that.
But we got it live on camera and hopefully recorded. So
Yeah,
truffle beer coming sometime soon.
that would. I would probably be pretty good.
It's been done before. So
It has.
yeah, my chef, I worked for Chef Giuseppe
Yeah,
Tentori, and he did a collab with somebody local in Chicago brewery, and they did a truffle stout,
yeah.
truffle stout. There we go, I
That
believe.
sounds good.
And then he paired it with like a trout with lentils and bacon, which I mean,
I
so
think
that
a good truffle beer and some French fries would probably be really fantastic.
that sounds amazing. Or like malt vinegar with
Yeah,
truffle beer
yeah.
chips, like
There
those
you go.
kettle cooked ones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. All right.
Delicious.
Well, bar concept coming 2025.
Yeah, truffle boy bar concept.
All right. So her parents own a
Yeah.
brewery,
So
and
we're in her parents' brewery, and we were filling up a growler because I think we're gonna go have tacos or something to that effect. Uh, and yeah, exactly, Alex.
we
Truffle
got
shark.
we got another industry person. Gene. Gene is a front of the house guy. I
Oh, there you go.
actually haven't communicated with him in a while, probably pre-COVID, but
Yeah.
Um, Shout out to Gene for joining in, listening in. We're talking about, our industry and what's happening. And we're trying to give all our chefs, all our friends, everybody in the industry a voice to be heard, to tell their side of the story. And, what are we going to do to move on? And what are we doing to move on? I mean, it's been 6 months, right? So a lot of people have moved on. A lot of people are still stuck in their head. And we want to inspire and show people as much stuff. That was my lovely lady back there, staying out of the conversation.
Yeah.
Dinner is waiting for me, but business is business.
Business first. Business first, stomach leader.
Yeah. So Gene says terrible, no dine-in starting today, which I mean, it fucking sucks. And he worked at Carson Barbecue, fire ass spot. I mean, they're known for
Yeah.
like their ribs and stuff, but they obviously have some soigné items. Um, yeah, I mean, it hit everybody across the board. But continuing on, I interrupted you, Doug. You
No,
were
you're
saying
good.
you were at the brewery. Uh,
Yeah, so we're at the brewery. We're getting a growler for taco picnic, and we get up there, and I see her dad's talking to somebody, and so he's talking about a rum or something to the effect that they were making, and he invites us over, and lo and behold, this gentleman that her dad's talking to owns and operates 9 different McDonald's, and he was talking about how he got some PPE money and how he was looking for someone to kind of come in and revamp some of his food cost practices and everything else he had going on, a little bit of food costs, a little bit of waste management, some inventory control things, and literally like 2 days in of being furloughed, I found this guy, and he had hired me on for. I think we started with a 2 month contract because I wasn't sure what was going on with Disney. So we started with the 2 month contract, and I ended up doing like food cost consultant work for him. Basically, I drove around to all his different locations. I'd never worked in a McDonald's before. I had never done like a franchise quick service, and so it was definitely a very weird experience. Very a very I don't know. It's a different level. You don't understand. You kind of just think that like working in a McDonald's is like you don't have to have any level of skill or that kind of thing. But if you've never worked in a McDonald's, some of the most interesting parts of it is first, as you're speaking an order, it's being rung into the kitchen. So imagine, we all work in a table service industry. So imagine as the guest is speaking at a table, the server has a POS system, in their hands. And before they can even send a check through for completion, you know, they'll hit cheeseburger. And as they're modifying it, it'll print in real time on the kitchen bump screen. So one of the things that I always saw is like something like that super interesting where you're in lifetime getting the ticket order, but if you are to modify something at the end of your order, it totally screws up their bump screen. So if you have a cheeseburger and then you order 10 other things and you're like, oh, on that first cheeseburger no pickles, that cheeseburger's probably already been made and wrapped and waiting in your brown paper bag for you. 170 seconds from the moment you start speaking to the moment they want you leaving the drive-through with your food. And I know a lot of us here couldn't put up a plate of food in 170 seconds. So it's pretty wild when you kind of work in a McDonald's. I mean, I did it for 4 months total. I was contracted with him. So it's its own beast. I can't hate on those guys after doing it. You don't realize the amount of precision and quickness that they have to have. It's a penny pinching business, so you know they are worried about every single penny they can make.
Doug, I'm going to interrupt you. We have one heavy hitter in the house. Chef Dennis in the house, giving us some heart eyes. I don't know how to call that emoji, but I'm going to be learning a lot of things. And I think this is what this entire thing is too. We're going to be showing you, talking to you about the entire process. We're starting from the ground up. So like, I just got a mic this week. I just got headphones. I just got a webcam. Doug is getting his stuff in. That's why, Doug,
Yep.
because you don't have headphones in right now, my voice is coming out,
That is.
and then it's coming out to you, and then it's re-recording it so people hear me twice.
Let me see. Let me see if I can fix that.
That's all good. But yeah, Dennis, we're definitely getting you on a podcast session in here. Your seat is getting nice and warmed up right now. So that's going to be coming shortly. I'm going to be in contact with everybody. But Dennis, love you. But yeah, Dennis right now is in Virginia, I believe. If he's still with us, probably left, probably in service. But yeah, I mean, he left Royster and went to Virginia, and now he's a executive chef at a Pink Goose. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's a nice boutique hotel kind of stuff you're doing. Definitely check him out, everybody. But yeah, we're still trying to figure all the kinks. I don't know if you can call it kinks, but so now I don't hear you, Doug. Now you just disappeared. Oh, live video ended. Are you able to? No, I can't hear you, dude. Oh, I cannot hear you, mate.
Here, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, loud and clear.
Okay. The video ended because it only allows you to record for 1 hour live.
Really? How are we
Yeah.
doing this Zoom right now? I thought Zoom is
Well,
also.
that was for the Instagram.
Yeah, but with Zoom, it's also usually.
Oh, I don't know. It's allowing us on this. Should I upload this to the post?
Yeah, if you upload it to the IGTV, I think that would be the best. Because if you do it as a post, it won't post the entire thing.
Not yet, though. Okay. I'll try and mess with that.
Yeah, I think that was amazing for the first run. I think we got a
Yeah, I think so.
couple people watching in, and I think they're gonna be making that their new thing. Sorry, I'm trying to like I can never multitask when you're like trying to type something and talk at the same time. You end up typing what you're what you're talking about, and not where you actually.
What do you want the title of this IGTV video? Like, here we are.
Podcast 000. I don't know, whatever you want. I honestly, that's what I put on mine. I'm gonna post it. Late nights, or is it late night with chefs? Late nights with chefs.
Yeah, late night with chefs. No, I think that went really well. I'm kind of excited that we're able to kind of just like freely talk, and it just feels like
that's what I'm saying. We're just like literally talk, and we're connecting. Like everything we're saying, people fucking they've lived it. Like this is their fucking life. They've ate shit. They've been in the weeds. They've fucking they've came up. I mean, some people started as dishwashers. Some people fucking.
Right.
I mean, it's insane. What's crazy though is when I post this fucking IG shit, it only posts my side.
I think no, there's a way to choose choose like